Hello and welcome to Louise Mimics German with me, Louise Thompson, and Idauce Ness from The Mimic Method. Idauce is going to be giving me a little taster of his new Flow of German course, which is out soon. Today we'll be looking at the ch sound, which you'll need to pronounce German words like Trinke and Prost, so don't even think about booking tickets to Oktoberfest until you've learned how to do it properly. As you'll learn, this sound is called an uvular fricative. In this video, we're first going to learn what a consonant sound is and what is happening physically in our mouths when we make one. The uvular fricative doesn't exist in English, so we're going to start with a similar sound that's more familiar to us and work from there. This one is the velar fricative, and if you haven't already watched the video where we cover that one, click on the link in the corner to do that now. Finally, we'll try out the uvular fricative in combination with other consonants so that we can actually start using it in speaking German words, and as part of that, we'll learn the difference between unvoiced and voiced consonants. This one is not for the faint-hearted. You'll need to get pretty familiar with the back of your throat and get ready to do a lot of this. If you think you can handle that, let's start by reviewing what a consonant is. A consonant sound is made when air from our lungs is restricted or stopped by different parts of our mouth. There are three physical factors which change the way a consonant sounds. Firstly, the place of articulation, so the parts of our mouth that are touching each other. Secondly, the manner of articulation, so whether or not the air is being restricted or stopped completely. And finally, whether or not the voice box is activated at the same time. Let's take the velar fricative as an example. This is the sound, and by the way, that phoneme symbol is slightly different from the one for the uvular fricative. We make it by bringing the back of our tongue into contact with our soft palate, also called the velum. You can find your soft palate with your finger or your tongue by going back beyond the hard roof of your mouth. This is a fricative sound, which means that the air is not being stopped completely, but instead passing through a narrow gap between the tongue and the soft palate. Try it. Now try saying
machen, machen, doch, doch.
So that's the velar fricative. To make the uvular fricative, the back of our tongue needs to come into contact with the uvula, which is just behind the soft palate. Or from the front, it looks like this.
You can see that thing in the back of my throat. That's called the uvula. So it sounds like this. So compared to the velar,
To learn how to make the uvular sound, we can start with the velar and then move our tongue back until it reaches the uvula.
develop an awareness of the back of your tongue, and then think about your tongue going, the back of your tongue going when you rest it. And now take the back of your tongue, and I want to move it down. So it's
Try tracing your tongue's movement with your hand as you move between the velar and uvular sounds to visualize what's happening. Yeah, so if you found that as hard as I did, you might benefit from another explanation of what your tongue needs to do.
the back part of my tongue, this is the middle, and this is the tip. So my tongue is in this configuration right now, where I'm just resting it, and then I'm moving all the way to the back. So I'm actually moving up, because the velum is above the rest position of the back of my tongue for the velar. So for the uvular, it's kind of back. So going from velar to uvular, I'm actually going down, diagonal, down and back. So it's yeah.
Right, well, I'm sure you've had enough of tongues now, so let's try putting this sound into some actual German words.
You know, when you say cheers in German, it's Prost. Prost.
Prost, Prost.
And krank, krank means you're sick. Krank, krank.
Krank, krank.
Yeah, perfect. Trinken, trink. Trink. Say that, trinkt.
Trink.
Now, if you remember back to the three features that define a consonant sound, one of these is whether or not the voice box is activated. The sounds p, k, and t from Prost, krank, and trink are all voiceless. If I make those sounds again, keeping my tongue and lips in exactly the same position, but the only difference is that I turn my voice box on, I'll get three different sounds that I'm sure you'll recognize.
B, p, b, p, g, 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 T, D, T, D, T, D.
So p, k, and t each have a voiced equivalent, b, g, and d, and it's the same with the uvular fricative. When the back of your tongue comes into contact fricatively with your uvula and your voice box is on, you get the r sound. The easiest way to do this is to first focus on making the voiceless sound continuously, and then turn your voice box on and off, like a light switch.
Got it.
So when you have a uvular fricative sandwiched between a voiced consonant and a vowel, which will always be voiced, you'll be keeping your voice box activated throughout the whole syllable, which will mean making a voiced uvular fricative instead. This is the case in words like,
Which means I'm not doing I'm doing so it's Brot.
Brot, Brot, Brot,
Yeah. Groß.
groß, groß, groß.
Drei.
Drei, drei, drei.
so all in all, that's 3 different consonants and 3 different fricative sounds. The velar fricative, the voiceless uvular fricative, and the voiced uvular fricative. You should now be able to hear and feel the difference between them, and enjoy yourself at Oktoberfest without embarrassing yourself, due to pronunciation at least. Thanks once again for watching Louise Mimics German with Louise Thompson and Idausse Ness from the Mimic Method. Make sure that you click on the subscribe button on your screen for more videos about German and other languages.